This video is about the German World War I and World War II Army helmet. For the German paramilitary organization after World War I, see Stahlhelm, Bund der Frontsoldaten. For the 1951 war film, see the steel helmet. Stahlhelm is German for steel helmet. The Imperial German Army began to replace the traditional boiled leather Pickelhaube with the Stahlhelm during World War I in 1916. The term Stahlhelm refers both to a generic steel helmet and more specifically to the distinctive German design. The Stahlhelm, with its distinctive coal scuttle shape, was instantly recognizable and became a common element of military propaganda on both sides, just like the Pickelhaube before it. Its name was also used by the Stahlhelm, a paramilitary nationalist organization established at the end of 1918. At the beginning of World War I, none of the combatants were issued with any form of protection for the head other than cloth and leather caps, designed at most to protect against saber cuts. When trench warfare began, the number of casualties on all sides suffering from severe head wounds increased dramatically, since the head was typically the most exposed part of the body when in a trench. The French were the first to see a need for more protection. In late 1915 they began to issue Adrian helmets to their troops. The British and Commonwealth troops followed with the Brodie helmet, and the Germans with the Stahlhelm. As the German army behaved hesitantly in the development of an effective head protection, some units developed provisional helmets in 1915. Stationed in the rocky area of the Vosges, the Army Detachment A Circumflexguide recorded significantly more head injuries caused by stone and shell splinters than did troops in other sectors of the front. The artillery workshop of the Army Detachment developed a helmet that consisted of a leather cap with a steel plate. The plate protected not only the forehead, but also the eyes and nose. The design of the Stahlhelm was carried out by Dr. Friedrich Schwerd of the Technical Institute of Hanover. In early 1915, Schwerd had carried out a study of head wounds suffered during trench warfare and submitted a recommendation for steel helmets, shortly after which he was ordered to Berlin. Schwerd then undertook the task of designing and producing a suitable helmet broadly based on the 15th century sellet, which provided good protection for the head and neck. After lengthy development work, which included testing a selection of German and Allied headgear, the first Stahlhelms were tested in November 1915 at the Kummersdorf Proving Ground, and then field tested by the 1st Assault Battalion. 30,000 examples were ordered, but it was not approved for general issue until near 1916. Hence it is most usually referred to as the Model 1916. In February 1916 it was distributed to troops at Verdun, following which the incidence of serious head injuries fell dramatically. The first German troop who had to use this helmet had been the stormtroopers of the Sturmbataillon NR 5, which had been commanded by Captain Rowe. In contrast to the headfield steel used in the British Brodie helmet, the Germans used a harder Martin stick silicon/nickel steel. As a result, and also due to the helmet's form, the Stahlhelm had to be formed in heated dies at a greater unit cost than the British helmet, which could be formed in one piece. The different Stahlhelm designs are named for their year of introduction. For example, the model 1942, which was introduced in 1942, is commonly known as M1942 or simply M42. Here, they are referred to by their M19XX names. The Stahlhelm was introduced into regular service during the Verdun campaign in early 1916. The M1916 design had side-mounted horn-like ventilator lugs which were intended to be support for an additional steel brow plate or sternpanzer, which only ever saw limited use by snipers and trench raiding parties, as it was too heavy for general use.